Welcome to Pour the Wine. It's Rom-Com Time, where we'll sip some wine and review all things rom-com on the Hallmark Channel. I'm Amy.
And I'm Garry.
And tonight, we're drinking a Chardonnay.
Chardonnay.
And I just have to say, I won't say the name of the wine, but I will say the label has the picture of a beach and someone and someone sunning. And I'm like, oh, give me the beach days now.
I know.
We keep getting teased with it.
I know. Today is terrible. It's like 50 degrees, windy and rainy. And yesterday was beautiful. It was like 80 something.
I know. It's the craziest.
What in the world is going on with this crazy weather?
I know. It's like we were out most of yesterday outside, and then we step inside for like an hour or two and the temperature dropped like 20 degrees.
It was like, what in the world?
Yeah. I'm just ready. I love fall and winter, but now I'm just at the point where I'm ready for summer weather.
Me too.
I don't want 50 degrees. You had your chance. Let's move on.
Yeah, move on.
Pleading to the weather gods. I want 70s is fine, but I'm ready for 80. I'll be complaining when it's too hot, obviously.
Don't we all?
But right now, yeah.
Too hot, too cold.
Like, we're going to pour this Chardonnay because it has a picture of a beach on it, and I am ready for it. Today it's rainy and 50. Yeah. All right. Should we get into it?
Let's do it.
All right. You can send us an email to pourthewine@romcomtime@gmail.com and let us know your thoughts about the Spring into Love movies. We're going to be talking about the very last one of 2026 today. Or you can send us your thoughts about anything Hallmark related. We would love to hear from you.
Yes, we would. Drop us a line.
We would. Today, as I just mentioned, we're going to be reviewing the final and probably the most highly anticipated Spring into Love movie of 2026, I'll Be Seeing You. It originally aired on the Hallmark Channel on Saturday, April 25th, 2026. You can see it right now on Hallmark Plus. Yep. And it stars Christine Ebersol, Tyler Hynes, Stacey Farber, and B.J. Harrison. The Powerhouse Four, right?
What a cast.
This is also Tyler's first time as an executive producer on a Hallmark film.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I want to mention something else. Now, when we were watching this movie, you and I talk a lot about the music, but we don't often talk about who the composer is.
Right.
Or composers are, or who, and we say whether we liked it or didn't like it. But I really did like the music, both instrumental and the songs in this one.
Yeah.
And so I looked up the composer, and the composer is Sean William.
Okay.
Shout out to Sean. But what's interesting is he also has composed for Hope Valley, 1874.
Oh, wow.
The Way to You, which we loved, and we talked about the music in that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Christmas at the Catnip Cafe, Adventures in Love and Birding, Junebug, just to name a few. So now I know why I like the music so much.
There you
in
go.
This particular movie. So
there you go.
Yeah. Just thought I would throw that in there. Little drops. Little drop.
I'll Be Seeing You was directed by Jessica Harmon and Joey Elkins and written by Blake Silver. And
no, it was, I think Joey Elkins and Blake Silver wrote it.
Oh, yes. Sorry. My bad. I read it wrong.
It was directed.
Let me start that over. Let me go backwards. I'll Be Seeing You was directed by Jessica Harmon and Joey Elkins and Blake Silver collaborated on the writing.
Wrote it.
Sorry about that.
You had two directing. That's all right. We got it straight.
Well, let's go ahead and drop the synopsis on this one. Let's move on.
Alrighty. When a work errand derails Amy's weekend plans with her grandma, they embark on a road trip with one sentimental detour, but need the help of a charming activities director.
And how charming he is.
I wonder who the charming activities director was.
So we'll probably give away some spoilers. We're going to try not to, but if we do, this is a time to stop the podcast, go watch it, come back, turn us on, and let us know what you think.
Word.
How about that? Whew. Okay, so
all right.
What did you think about I'll Be Seeing You?
I'll Be Seeing You. Well, first, So this is about Amy, right? She's going to go spend a long weekend with her grandma at
Mm-hmm.
Somerville Meadows, and her grandma's played by the iconic Christine Ebersol.
Yes, very,
Somerville
very
Meadows is a
good.
retirement community, but Amy gets a call about work, so she has to go and convince an inventor to sign with her firm,
Mm-hmm.
right? So her grandma is like, "Oh, you're going on a road trip. I'm gonna go with you," because her grandma has an ulterior motive, right? And the road, and it's like a
Mm-hmm.
9-hour drive that they have to go on.
Right, right.
So Vivian is the grandma. She says she wants to go on the road trip to, particularly to a city called Keystone. She wants to make a
Mm-hmm.
stop there, but she won't tell them why. And she wants to invite her friend that lives in the retirement community, also Sue, who is played by BJ Harrison.
Harrison,
I
yep.
want to say BJ Armstrong because I was a Bulls fan when I was younger, but I got to stop myself. BJ Harrison, sorry.
There you go.
So they start to drive. Amy hits a pothole. The car breaks down. And Mark, played by Tyler Hines, and Amy's played by Stacey Farber, by the way. Mark,
Yes.
played by Tyler Hines, he picks them up in his van.
Yeah. What's his van's name?
Mabel. Mabel, it's a Volkswagen van, right?
Yes, it's a Volkswagen.
And off they go. So that's the premise. Okay. So now what did I think of it? I really enjoyed it. You know, when you
Hmm.
have the powerhouse cast like you do,
Yep.
the four leads, and the writing the way it was, and the
Hmm.
directing. I mean, you even mentioned some of the way things were shot, which I'm sure you'll talk about in a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, this movie is what we love about Hallmark movies, right? It was light, it was fun. There's some romance, lots of humor kind of sprinkled
Yes.
in throughout the one-liners, and of course, life lessons along the way. And it was just so well done.
Hmm.
As a whole, all of it put together. Plus we have a different twist focus in this one that we usually see. I mean, we're giving those who have walked the planet for a longer period of time
Hmm.
their due finally. And I
Yeah.
felt like the focus on them, it pretty much was consistent throughout the whole movie. And I really thought that that was great because there's so much to be learned,
Right.
right? From people
Hmm.
who are more mature than us
Yeah.
and older than us. And I'm not using age as a bad thing, but it is true. They have more life experience.
Hmm.
And sometimes when you're younger, you're moving very fast and you don't stop and smell the roses, so to speak, which
Right.
we'll get into a little bit. But in the romance, in this one, I thought it was interesting. The romance was sort of budding, but it was sort of like, an aside to the physical and emotional journey
Hmm.
that was the road trip that each of the characters took. So
Right.
I thought the writing was good. There was so much heart in the film. I really enjoyed it. I mean, Christine Ebersol, icon of stage, right? I mean, you have her in it. Tyler, of course, he's so calm in this, and he just oozes cool in this.
Right.
I mean, I was thinking of like the Fonz.
Right.
That's what I was thinking. And then BJ Harrison has such an incredible TV and film resume, and Stacey Farber, we've loved her in her work. It just all around, I thought it was really, really great. What about
Yeah.
you?
I really enjoyed this one. I enjoyed the multi-generational love stories that
Yes,
they
yes,
had.
that's
I enjoyed the conversations along the way as they were driving and at every stop that they had. There was these stories, the connection between all four of them and between their their past, right?
yeah,
I really enjoyed that. And the "I'll Be Seeing You" song, it's an old,
yes.
was around World War II era type song, dealing with longing and hoping and reuniting. I thought it was well written and beautifully shot.
Right, right. I would love to chat with the writers about
Hmm.
this
Yeah.
and talk to them and break down did they love the song? And I haven't seen any interviews with them. I've seen interviews, of course, with the cast, but
Right.
just in terms of, did you write the movie around the song? Like, was that song a favorite when you were younger?
Hmm.
Like you said, it was written in what, in the little research we did in the late 30s, like
Right.
1938, but it became popular by Billie Holiday towards the end of World War II, and it just spoke to them because of the people serving
Right.
that were overseas and everything. And and the version I think that's in the movies, Michael Bublé also, right, is
It
one of the
sounded like him.
versions
So,
of it. So I would love to pick their brain about that because
yeah.
I'd never actually heard of the song. I didn't even
Really?
know about the song until
Yeah.
this movie. So,
Yeah. I know my mom back in the day used to play it, but
oh,
I never.
really? So you were
Yeah.
familiar with it?
Hmm.
Oh, I didn't
No.
know that. See this? Yeah,
I
I had no
never
idea.
never
We don't
listened to
talk
the.
about these
I
before
know,
we.
never listened to the words, but after watching this movie, I was like, this is
Right.
interesting. You know, because I thought it
Right.
was just a phrase, but when she started singing the song, and it pops up a couple of times throughout the movie,
Oh,
so
and then when Christine Ebersol sings it, oh,
mm.
stop. That had to be such a great day on set.
I
Oh my
know.
gosh.
I bet you everybody was just standing still and
Oh,
just listening. You
I
know,
mean, you're in the
At,
midst of a, yeah,
yeah, it was beautiful. All
oh,
right,
great.
so you want to talk about the meet cute?
Sure. Sure. You want to dive
Okay.
into it? You want to describe it?
Okay, so Tyler Hines, who plays Mark, he's the athletic director, right? And of this retirement home.
Activities
Activities director,
director,
sorry.
not athletic coach.
Yes, Amy calls him the athletic coach. I'm sorry.
Right, right.
And he's on, and let's just say, I love the opening. I'm sorry, I gotta go back to that.
Oh, yes, you
How it
can.
was
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's talk
that
about it.
70s vibe and
Yes,
the 70
yes. Yes, I
lettering.
just haven't gotten to
Uh,
it yet.
yes, I thought
Yep.
that was so good.
It was
But
so Partridge Family. I
yeah,
have got to
yes,
say, when we watched the beginning, the very beginning, like you said, the lettering was
yeah,
like, all I could think of
the
was like, "Come
70s.
on, get happy."
I
That's the
know, right?
Partridge Family theme song. It was
So
so
it
cute.
was really good. It was really good. But anyhow, so it was Tyler Hines. It was Vivian and Sue. They were on a putting green and they were kind of having a little competition who can get it in the hole on the first putt or whatever. And this is when Amy walks up. Well, Mark is hitting the ball and he hits it a little bit hard and to the left, and she catches it with her foot. And then the banter back and forth starts. And I thought
Yes.
that was really, really, really cute.
I think so too. It was a great way. I thought, because he says 4, but it's after he's hit the ball.
Right.
Right, and
Yes.
she goes, "That's not much of a heads up," because he
Yeah,
had already
it's
hit it.
the ball is almost to her and he
Yeah,
yells for, which I
4.
just thought it was funny because it was, you usually don't yell for unless you hit it in the air and it's going at someone. But if it's on the ground on a putting green, you don't yell
Oh,
for. So
really? I
yes, you
didn't
don't
know that.
yell
I don't know
for.
golf, so, okay,
Not on the
I
putting
didn't know.
green.
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't have to do it right there if you think
Yeah.
it's just 3 of you. Yeah, that
And let
makes
me tell
sense,
you,
but
I've had to say for a lot throughout my golf
career.
my golfing
Yeah, that's
career.
funny.
So, yes, we've all been there, done that.
Oh my
But
gosh, yeah, and
but go ahead.
no, no, no. I was just gonna say, you mentioned their banter was really good. He's like,
Hmm.
because when she says something like, "That's not much of a heads up," and he's like, "Well, live fast and putt hard." And I
That's
mean, you and I think both laughed out loud at that.
yes,
There were so many like one-liners like that. And then he invites her to be a part of his team
right,
against Vivian and Sue, and just, Mark's relationship with Vivian and Sue, how he sort of, takes care of them and is with them, but he's not condescending in a way.
right,
His
right.
presence with them is an appreciation
Oh my goodness.
of them and their stories
Hmm.
and the life that they've led. It's
Right.
not, like, "Oh, look at that old it's not like that at all. And
No.
so, yeah. And that's when they
So
banter about athletic coach versus activities director. And yeah, so I thought it was, I thought, I thought it really worked. I mean, I would say somewhere in between middle, what do we do? Top shelf, middle
top
shelf,
shelf
or
or lower shelf. So
bottom
which one?
shelf, in
Bottom shelf?
terms
Yep.
of, we're thinking in terms of wine, right? So
Yep.
I would say right in between, almost top shelf. I would say
Hmm.
right below top shelf for me. What
Yeah.
about you for the meet
I
cute?
the same thing. Same
Yeah.
thing. Because it was funny because he's like, "Oh, I've heard a lot about you," and she's like, "Oh, and I've heard a lot about you," right?
Mm.
Because they're trying to hook those two up. I thought Sue and Vivian were funny about that.
Yes, yes, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah, so we both give it a middle to upper shelf
Shelf. Yeah.
rating on this one.
Yes. Yes.
All right, so let's dive into
Yep.
some favorite scenes. We'll do a couple.
Gosh.
How about that?
All right. So we'll try to keep it to two, but keep in mind,
Yeah.
there were several that I really enjoyed. There
Mm-hmm.
were so many like one-liners, like at the beginning, like you talked about. He's buying what the flags for them to race
Oh
their
my
little golf
gosh.
carts,
Yes.
and he's like, "Fortune, she favors the bold," and
I
then he's like,
know
"If
that
you see
whole
a squirrel,
speech.
slow down, be safe, yeah," and to Vivian and Sue, and they're in their golf carts, and he's like, "Ready, get set, go," and it was just that whole opening segment was so cute,
Yes,
so cute and
it
so
was
fun.
fun. It was
Thought
fun.
it was great,
Yeah.
and the hand hugs.
Oh my
I
gosh.
thought that was so cute. You see that right away in
Yep.
that opening scene
Yep. Yep.
where you put your hands together for hand. Oh, it was just so great. I thought that was I'd never heard that before. I
Me
thought that was so
either. And
cute.
I'm gonna start doing that, man. That's a
Hand hug.
that's a good trend. Yes, that's a
Yes,
good trend
yes.
to
I think
start.
that's we should start. Yeah, definitely start doing that.
I mean, he
So,
did it. He did it at the same time to Sue and Vivian after
oh, at the
after
say
the cart
yes.
race.
Yeah, yeah, it was great.
So
But
yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes too.
all right. So, um
What's another one?
what do you want to? Oh, so one of your favorite scenes? Well, I just brought up the beginning because I wanted to throw that in there. That's
All right.
just
Well, then
that's
give me a favorite scene then.
okay. Um, the general gist is Amy is type A personality. She doesn't do
Mm,
anything spontaneously. She goes on dates and then she has to actually schedule future dates and I like when Vivian says to her, "Well, when did you schedule?" She's like, "Well, I tried to schedule them in 3 weeks from now." And she's like, "3 weeks? That's a hair appointment. That's not a date." And I thought that line was really funny too. But
that
so the
was really
gist is
good.
Amy's a planner. She's organized. She likes to, plan everything out. She has a
Hmm.
structure. She's a workaholic. She misses a lot of things because she's working.
Right.
And then you have Mark, who's laid back. He kind of, what did they say? A tumbleweed, through
Yeah.
life, kind of just flows through life, takes it,
Hmm.
doesn't commit to anything
Right.
totally because he doesn't want to be stuck in one place.
Hmm.
He doesn't, you never know. You don't want to plan something for the future because you never know what's going to happen. Things could
Right.
change. You might want to do something else. So he's kind of fly by the seat of his pants kind of guy, and she's
Hmm.
not. So there you have the
Right.
setup of their polar opposites. And one of my favorite scenes then leading into it is they start the road trip and they end up like camping,
Right.
and they sit around a campfire. They have some s'mores, and Viv says they're going to go to Keystone, but she hasn't told them why. And finally she
Right.
says, it's the first time she fell in love. And Amy, of course, is shocked to find out that her grandmother loves somebody other than her grandpa.
Right.
Like kids can't imagine their parents or grandparents had a life,
Right.
outside of them, which was kind of really cool. And that they kind of approached that
Hmm.
topic anyway. And then, Viv basically says that, she wants Amy to, I think I wrote it down. She wants to help her with her approach to life and love.
Right.
And I love that Mark is sitting there around the campfire too, and he kind of laughs, and she's like, "And you're not off the hook either,
Yeah.
mister."
No.
Because
That was
what
funny.
about your she calls him out, like, "What about your relationship?" And I thought that was so great. I thought the
Yeah.
conversation, I mean, I won't go over every line, although I wrote a lot of stuff down. I just thought that that was a really sweet moment for all four characters.
Hmm.
And then Sue and Vivian leave the campfire, and it's just Mark and Amy, and they have a good conversation. And she discusses how she's, the events in her friends' lives she's missed because of work. And then they talk about the women he's been with and the reasons why they didn't work because he
Right.
really didn't commit, he didn't plan.
Hmm.
And I just thought that that was, I really enjoyed that. That was, I don't know, maybe a 15-20 minutes. I don't know how long the scene was
Right.
from when it was all four of them to just the two of them. But
Yeah.
I really thought that was great. And I like the location too. They were right near some water. It was real calming,
Hmm.
relaxing.
Yeah.
So,
And I thought it was kind of interesting because prior to the road trip, Mark was talking about going down the coast or up the coast, one of the two, and camp and fish.
Yes.
So throughout this movie, he kind of gets that. So in a roundabout way.
Right.
So, but the other thing I liked about their conversation with the s'more scene was she would talk and he would go, "Yeah, so you sound like a real go-getter." And then she would go back and go, "But I didn't go." And he was like, "Oh, okay."
That's right.
And
That's
every time
right.
she had something positive and he would be like, "Oh, look at you. Look how you're going out there and tackling the world." She was like, I didn't go and I didn't do
Yeah.
this and I made this decision instead of that decision. And it was just so cute. And so it didn't look like it looked effortlessly, is
It
what it
didn't look
is.
forced, it was
Right. It
effortless.
did
Yeah, their
not look for.
conversation was just genuine back and
Yes.
forth. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
So,
And you're right because that's when she says something about her friends like, "Yeah, I have lots of friends. I do lots of things. I there was a, baby shower or whatever, bachelorette party." And he's like, "Oh,
mhm.
yeah? I bet that was fun." And she's like, "I couldn't go."
Yeah.
Because
So
I
he
was
was like,
working. You're right. That's yeah. Yeah, and then eventually they get to the point where at the end of that conversation where she says, "My grandma's right about us, isn't she?" And he's kind of like, "Yeah,
yeah.
she's right about most things,
Yeah.
So, I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
So
so that would
that
be
was a
one.
good scene.
All right, what
My
about you?
one of my favorite scenes was the horoscope where they read each other's horoscope
Yes, yeah,
because it played such an integral part throughout the movie,
it really
and
did.
each one of them was like spot on. So, and I
Mhm.
don't remember exactly all of them, but I know like Vivian's was you're gonna, you're gonna end up meeting, you're going to a place or something and meeting somebody or something like that. Mark's was you come to a fork in the road, you're gonna have to make a decision or something like that. And then Sue's was um I think it had to do with
So, oh yeah.
her husband passing and that she would get signs. And then Amy, of course, was you're gonna get what you want in the end, like the promotion or
And
whatever.
she thought it was related to the
Right.
promotion. Yeah.
So I thought it was really well written, and that conversation was fun.
It
So
was really cool. I
yeah.
agree. I know there are
So
just so many good,
hmm
I'm trying to debate if we're just keeping it to a couple. I mean, Christine Ebersol singing, of course, is going to be one
I
of them,
know,
but that's an
I know.
aside. That's just stands by itself. I
Mm.
really liked when, okay, I have to bring this up. I'm going to bring it
What?
up. I'm going to bring it
Okay,
up.
go ahead.
So they get to Keystone where Vivian wanted to go because that's where she spent 5 days with her first love, right? She fell madly in love with this guy. She spent five
hmm
days and then they separated. And in those days, you didn't have cell phones or,
Nope, sure
you couldn't
didn't.
write something down. You didn't have, yeah. So it wasn't as easy to
Back in the
find someone once
'70s.
you
Yep.
left, unless you got their digits, right? Yeah. So 75, right?
hmm
So so Vivian explains where she first met Teddy. That's the guy's name. He was
hmm
making a wish in a fountain, and the fountain was no longer there in the town. It was a
Right.
gazebo then, right?
Yep.
And she's like, she thought he was wishing something about her. And she
Yeah.
found out later that he was wishing the Cubs would win the World Series. Now, the Cubs come up a few times in this movie,
Yes. Yes.
making me love it. Go Cubs. They were on a winning streak, but they lost what yesterday, I think. So
And I think
they were
that
on a 10
today,
game winning
yeah,
streak, but
yeah.
it's
Now
fine.
they're on a
It's fine.
two-game losing streak.
It's a
Yay.
shh, shh, shh. It's a long season. It's a long season.
Yes,
But
it
I am a
is.
lifelong Cubs fan. I grew up near Chicago. And so anytime the Cubs come up, I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay. But I just thought that was so great. And I immediately was like, oh my God, I love this movie. I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't need to see anything else.
Yeah.
But no. So I did like that scene. And then that scene goes right into she sees a record store and she remembers that her and Teddy had gone into the record store and she was so
hmm
thrilled that it was still there. So they go to the record store and I loved that scene. That's where, Viv is kind of she's discussing going with the flow, being in the
Right.
moment, being
Right.
present, and she says they dance to a song and then there happen to be two people there
hmm
who are like a band, not a real band, but a band in the movie
Right.
or a group or whatever. And they play I'll Be Seeing You and she sings it in that scene and it's
Right.
just a wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful scene. And she
Yeah.
dances with Tyler, right?
Yeah,
in that one.
Tyler dances with her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he
Yeah.
goes to dance with Amy, but the song finishes, so they didn't get a dance.
They didn't quite get to dance, but
But
I
they
like
had
that town scene,
yeah,
with her
but
first singing.
they overheard her talking about "I'll be seeing you," and that's why they started playing it.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
right, that's
yeah.
right. It was
So
yep,
that
yep.
was a cute
So
scene.
so that was one of my favorites. I guess it led into it, so yeah, with her singing, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Another one of mine was the conversation they were having underneath the tree,
Yes, I have the tree
where
scene
this
down.
was
I'm glad you brought it
yes,
up, so it's not
this
one of
was
my
another one of her stops and stories where they left. I guess they left each other notes in the tree in a knot in one of the branches,
Yes.
and they're sitting there talking. And this is when I think Sue kind of opens up about her husband,
Mm,
and as she's talking, Mark notices a leaf and falling off a branch, and it kind of, as it's falling, it falls past the knot in the branch, and there's this glimmer of light or a reflection, and Mark is like, hold on a second, what is this? So he gets up and he sticks his hand in the knot, and it was so funny because Amy's like, don't do that. There might be a beehive in there. You don't know. He's like, what? So he pulls out what is the bottle with a message in it, and they hand it to Vivian, and it's actually from uh, Teddy from '79.
mhm.
It was still in the branch. How cool is that? A
That
message
was
in a
really cool, and I
bottle.
think the leaf related back to the
Back to
horoscope,
it did
right? There was
because
something
her
in the
husband,
horoscope.
her Sue's husband, like she called it leafing or
Mm,
watching leaves, and so that was one of the scenes where they kind of you know associated that with her husband.
where it
So
related back, yeah, I thought
right,
that was yeah, that was a
right,
really, really great scene too.
yeah, it was.
Oh, man.
You got any more?
Um, yes, I do, I have a couple more, and I really liked when Mark and I'm just gonna mention this really quickly. Mark and Amy are talking about which house they would buy when they're
Oh yes.
outside of an architect's business, and there are different plans for different homes and
Mm-hmm.
condos, and they just that whole scene I thought was really cute. But I will go to, if I have to pick one more scene, it would be towards the end,
Right.
unless you have one before that. Is I was going to talk about the Sue and Mark scene.
No, because my last one is going to be when Vivian meets Teddy.
When
That's going to be
Vivian.
my
Oh,
last.
okay, okay.
So go ahead.
Well, this is towards the very end. It's so good with Sue and Mark, and they're kind of sitting outside. They have gone to well, do you want to talk about Vivian and Teddy then?
Yeah.
Because
So
this
let's,
is after
because this
they
is after
find
that.
the
Yeah.
cabin. Yeah.
So my last favorite, well, it's not my last, but the
It's
last I'm
one
going to
we're
talk
gonna talk
about it
about.
is when they finally get to where Teddy's log cabin is, and she walks up to the door, and just the emotion and the look on her face when she knocks, and he opens the door, and he's like, Vivian? And you can just see the sadness and the smile and the like all of it at once just coming out on her face. And what a shot
Yes.
to get that emotion from her. I mean,
Yeah.
brilliant.
It was
Brilliant.
really good.
Yep. So,
I agree.
and then that leads into your next favorite scene. So,
Well, yeah, and then she talks to Teddy, and they
yeah.
have their, and then that's, and then Amy comes in there, and the three of them talk and whatnot.
Yeah.
But anyway, this scene with Sue and Mark, um, Sue, she says she tells Mark she was like him. She was
Hmm.
always moving, right? She was
Right.
always on the go, and she's like, don't hesitate at the fork in a road
Right.
for one moment longer. Like you have a
Hmm.
fork in the road because he's gonna, or was he already offered the position at that point?
Yeah, and he had one day left to give
to
his answer,
to
his decision.
decide.
Yep.
So, she's basically I just thought it was so heartfelt. And she's like, I know you've had to love and let go more than most. We're each given a path that only we can walk, and you
Hmm.
definitely have a unique path, and nobody walks it quite like you.
Like
And
you
he's
do.
kind of
Yeah.
tearing up and she's tearing up. And then they do like a hand hug. And
Oh
I
my
just thought that
gosh.
that was so
Th-
good and
there were so
so
many of those. Oh
powerful.
my gosh.
Yes. Yes, it was like she was just sort of passing on, like, look, and I'll talk about this in my cheers in a little bit, but I don't want to go any further. But that scene I thought was so great. It
Yeah,
was so, so great.
I
So,
agree with you. I
any
agree
more
with
from
you.
you?
I had a whole bunch,
I
and
know, but we
I'm
can't.
just
Yeah, it's hard.
we'll be here all night trying to or discussing these, but there was
I
just so
know.
many.
I
Um,
know.
but I will say this: the last scene where um, I guess it's Mark and Amy. Amy takes Mark down to the pier to
Mm.
fish. So
Mm-hmm.
here he gets his fishing
Mm-hmm.
in, right? And he's getting ready to say something. She's like, "No, just enjoy the moment
Just breathe.
and just breathe." And then he ends up thanking her. And then it had to have been a drone shot, but it was shot so well and so beautifully from a distance, and you get how like small they were compared to Mother Nature. It just
Mm-hmm.
looks so beautiful. And I was like, wow, that's a shot right there.
I know you literally said that out
That
loud during
to
that. Yeah.
to me, that's something that would win an award, for best cinematography
Cinematography,
or photography. Yeah,
cinematography.
it was
Yeah.
it was really, really beautiful. But
Well, and I like too that they showed because they finally kissed then, on the
yes.
pier. And I
Hmm.
love that they show Vivian and Teddy watching from Teddy's house. There's like a big
Right.
glass window, and then they show Sue watching.
Hmm.
She's on like the porch or whatever,
Hmm.
a porch area, and she's watching their kiss too right after the end of that. But yeah,
Right.
it was really well shot.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So
All right.
what cheers did you have?
None. Hated it, as you can tell. I think the reverence shown to, the older generation, it
Hmm.
isn't always seen or acknowledged. And I thought that this Hallmark film really did just a beautiful job of portraying wisdom in a way that wasn't condescending.
Right.
So I thought that that was really what shined in the movie. I mean, I
Hmm.
I feel like, you know, the romance part of it was good, and you could see they kind of had a connection, but that's not really what the film was about. And yeah, they
Right.
eventually connected, and I liked, another cheer for me would be that they both sort of, you do have the type A and you have the laid back,
Hmm.
you know go on a whim, do whatever you want when you want. And it kind of shows you need a balance of both. Like,
Right.
if you're too rigid one way, or, if you're too laid back, I mean, you do have to plan some things. Like, you
Right.
have to save your money. You have to, there are some
Yeah.
things you need to plan for. It's okay to plan for a vacation, or say you want a certain job, or plan for certain things, but, and at the same time, we do move fast. You do have to slow down. You do
Right.
have to do things outside of work. And, you know, you and I talk about this a lot, and
Hmm.
I think I've even said it on the podcast. I don't think enough people, especially in the United States, take vacation. I really,
Right.
really don't. And that doesn't mean going anywhere.
Right.
It just means
You can have
taking a
a
break from
staycation
your
too.
job. It
Yeah.
just, yeah, take a staycation. I feel like, you know, if you have a job where you earn leave or paid time off, PTO or whatever you call it, and some people save, they have like 500 hours. Well, what are you
Right.
going to do with that?
Right.
Save a little bit for an emergency. No problem. I have no issue with that. But then use some of it. That's what it's there for.
Yeah.
I just think we literally work ourselves to death sometimes. That's an aside. Sorry.
All
That's
right.
my TED talk. But, and I appreciate movies that that talk about it in a positive way. Like, yeah, you can do that, and it's okay to do that, but do take some time to slow down. Do go to the baby showers. Life does go fast. I mean, we're at an age where we know that, right?
Right.
Weekends used to go by fast when I was younger, when the kids were younger, because they were always so busy. And now they go by fast because we're older and time flies,
Right. There you go.
So, so you do, you just,
Yeah.
and I appreciated the writing and the way the movie flowed,
Right.
really, in exploring that topic. I thought that it was really, really well done. What
Well,
about
there
you?
was
Any cheers? I have some other ones, but
there was one quote that they mentioned, and it was, "Don't let the grass grow under your feet, no matter how soft it feels." And I
yeah,
thought it was interesting that they both had different perspectives, which went with her type A and his laid back attitude.
yeah.
and they explained that in the movie, and I thought that was really well done too. So
You're right.
yeah,
You're exactly right. What
yeah.
any other cheers?
But my other cheer is I was happy that each he was Mark or Tyler Hines was kind of the grounding for them during this whole road trip. But I also felt like each character had a moment of advice for another character. And I
Mhm.
thought that was played in really well.
Yeah,
So
and
I
but I
enjoyed
think
that.
I think they were grounding for him also.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I
100%.
think it worked both ways. That's a really
Hmm.
interesting and good point.
Especially Sue. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, there were little things that I really liked. I like that they didn't make Vivian and Sue enemies.
I
Because,
know.
a lot of times when you're in a retirement community, they hate each
Yeah.
other. And that may be
Yeah.
true, but I really like that they're just really good friends
Hmm.
and they support each other,
And they like to have fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And they just like having fun. And
Yeah.
I love that, when there's the mishap of the luggage,
Hmm.
which is a scene where Amy's luggage gets put in the wrong car and then she doesn't have it for her, when she goes to talk to the inventor. I
Right.
like that they didn't have her get mad at Mark for that.
Right.
She wasn't, she never said anything like, "Oh, I'm too laid back and I shouldn't have gone on this trip," which is the route they usually go.
Right.
She's upset for a minute and then she takes it in and she goes, "I can handle this. I can do
Yeah.
it."
She starts to
Because
laugh.
because Mark has rubbed off on her a little bit,
Yeah.
right?
There
So,
you go.
yeah. And go Cubs. The Cubs references in this are always going to be a cheer for me.
So the little figurine he had in his car, the bear,
Yeah,
was
you
that
and
a
I had a
Cub
debate about
thing or
this.
was or
You and
no?
I
Because
had
it
a
looked
debate
kind of
about
looked like
this.
it had baseball seams on it, but I don't know. If
I
it
don't
was,
know.
if you know, let us know. In the comments.
Yeah.
I'd like to know whether or not that was a Cub
I don't know. You
memorabilia.
you say it was a Cub, like a Chicago Cubs reference,
Right,
and I
right,
didn't
baseball.
think so, but I don't
Well, he
know.
was a Cub fan, not
Maybe we
him, but
missed.
Teddy was a Cub fan.
It
So I
wasn't
didn't
him.
know if
Teddy was. So how
I
would
know,
it
but I
get?
don't know if Vivian had it or saw it somewhere and put it in the van. But
Oh,
that's neither
because
here
she
nor
knew.
there.
Well, I don't
Right.
know. Good point.
All
Good
right.
point.
So what
Not
about
sure.
jeers? Did you have any jeers?
I didn't really. I think I was curious about seatbelts. Not
Yeah.
because I, particularly care. I mean, I know everyone knows to be safe, but I
Right.
was like,
Right.
did vans not have a seat? Because there's, a couple seats. And that's just something I said out loud. I mean, it's not really,
Yeah.
What about you? Any jeers that
No.
you had that?
I was a little confused about the road trips part, the destinations. Like it
Yeah,
seemed like they were all over the place.
well, I
But
don't, they
but
probably weren't. We were like that. Yeah, maybe it was good. We were focused on the story more
yeah.
than, because
Yeah.
you and I were like, wait, where are they? Are they on the California coast? I'm so confused. I don't know where, because, yeah, it
Yeah.
was the whole thing with us, a whole conversation.
All right.
Someone
So
can lay that out too. We know Keystone and Eureka.
yeah. Yeah.
So
So is that a wrap?
that is a wrap. Are you going
So
to cork it?
yeah, I'm gonna cork it. I'm
Okay. How
gonna,
many corks out of
you
five
know,
corks? How many
I
corks
think
would
I'm
you
gonna
give this one?
go. I was kind of going back and forth between a 4 and a 4.5, and I think I'm going a
Ooh.
4.5 after
I
having this discussion, man.
Yeah, I'm the same. I am the same. I was
Uh,
gonna do, 4 1/4, and then I'm like, after we discussed it, and that happens.
I really like this
I'm
this
going four
movie.
and a half. Four and a half
Good.
corks out of five.
All right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So
Yep.
we're the samers again.
Samers.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. And the best way you can support our podcast is if you're listening on Apple, you can leave us a 5-star rating and a review. If you're over there on Spotify, leave us a 5-star rating. But if you enjoy watching us on YouTube at Pour the Wine, It's Rom-Com Time, you can click that like button, click the submit or subscribe button, and never miss an episode when we drop
Never
it.
miss an episode. Be sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts and on social media so you don't miss a thing. Till next time. Cheers.
Cheers.